Hi Pisces, here is a general look at your solar chart for March 2016. Well, there is a lot going on for you this month. So first of all, may I wish you a happy birthday. And yeah, so we better get started. Okay, so there's going to be 2 eclipses in March, your birthday month, if it wasn't in late February. And the first one is a solar eclipse in your sign, what it would be. And that's on March the 8th. So you babies, you little fishes born in and around that time there, this is going to be very beneficial, I think, for you, and across the whole sign it will be. But the nearer you are into the degree, the more it will count. So that will be for you rising sign people 18 to 19 degrees. So this is a powerful wave of expansive change, provoking new beginnings for you, particularly you Pisceans, but for all the mutable signs, and in different ways throughout all of the signs. And by the way, this thing about the degrees, I mean, if you're like I don't know, 5 degrees off that in either direction, it's still going to be pretty strong, but even more, 10, 15, it's still going to be kind of decreasing energy. But it's a bit misleading to say that, because you might have an important point or a planet in around there, which you might know if you know what your natal chart looks like and what the degrees are. So you might know that you've got another planet in Pisces, or maybe Virgo, or maybe another one of the mutable signs, or whatever. So I'm going off in a completely different direction. I digress, but to come back. So this is good news. Now this eclipse, there's a lot going on in Pisces these days. There's Chiron in Pisces, and there is, of course, Neptune in Pisces. And this eclipse will be stirring up the energies of Chiron, Neptune, if we stretch a point, Saturn, and Jupiter, a little bit of Pluto thrown in just for good measure, but in a supportive kind of a way. So interesting times. Now the thing about eclipses is that they do unfurl over the subsequent months, so we have to try to stamp our intent upon the energy, this wonderful sort of vibrational swell or wave of energy that comes in and says, okay, you can turn over the new leaf, you can get the ball rolling, or indeed it's already happening and you're thinking, woohoo, I've got my opportunity now to dart in with whatever. Sorry, excuse me, I've got something just on my eye there. And for you, with your positions of Saturn, it's to do with your general direction in life, your professional life, your place in the world, your outer image, or the outer image of something that you are behind. It's authority figures, it's bureaucracy, and it can be, as it often is, a bit challenging every now and again. But this energy here can really be very, very helpful for that. And just by the way, you Pisceans born the 5th to the 7th of March, or with 15 to 17 degrees rising, will feel that energy the most this month. That's of Saturn. But of course, the eclipse energy takes you up to the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, particularly in March. And then we have Jupiter being influenced as well. Jupiter is in your opposite sign. There's a huge emphasis through the transits on your sign at the moment. So this eclipse is just going to be kind of the icing on the cake, really. Things are really moving and shifting, So Jupiter is opening the way to grow through close personal relationships or professional relationships. Because of key close associations, there might be like business type associations, or matters of the heart type, family as well. You will feel that your world is expanding, that there's doors opening, there's possibilities, there's potential there, and you'll learn a lot from them, and they're going to learn a lot from you and benefit even from you as well. Both ways. It's a two-way street with this one. And if it isn't panning out as a two-way street, then it's not the right relationship, because the potential of Jupiter is going to be there until September, offering you that gift, if you like, if you just tap into it. You Pisceans born the 4th to the 10th of March, or with 14 to 20 degrees rising, are going to feel that energy the most this forecast period. So this eclipse is also going to be really bringing in this feeling of even more acutely, this feeling of change, this a feeling like turning over a new leaf in that area of partners or opposite numbers or one-to-one work, if you do that, and also with the career area, but with also, I didn't mention this, parents as well. For some of you this will be significant. With parents, particularly the mother energy, but it does seem to involve often both parents, because you can get a mother who's more kind of wears the trousers, can't you? And you can get a father who's kind of more kind of maternal. So yeah, parents, but it's the mother energy, and anybody in that kind of position in society, like officials and that kind of thing. Again, a kind of a fast turning of the energy. So the eclipse energy can show up previous to the eclipse, days, a month, and also will be unfurling 6 to 12 to even 18 months after the eclipse. It's a very strong eclipse, and it's very significant for all Pisceans and all Virgos and all Sagittarians and all Geminis, because that's all the mutable signs. So then we have, and of course with Chiron in there and Saturn in there, there will be some pushing against things, and maybe some inner feelings coming up to the surface as well, and maybe some self-doubting going on, and what if this and what if that. But basically the energy is very much there to help you. Now there is a lunar eclipse on March the 23rd, and this is in a sort of less significant area for you. It's in on the Aries Libra axis, and that's a sign after yours, so that will be, I think something just fell off the roof there. We've been getting a lot of ice behind the things, the tiles where they go on the ridge of the house, and I think that was just one of them sliding down, if you heard that. But so here we have Jupiter, here we have the eclipse going on in this financial sort of area, but also inheritance, joint finances, what you share with another, what you owe another, what another owes you. It can be like that. It can be about buying, selling, renting, leasing. Either you're doing it or somebody's doing it, you know, that you're involved with. And again, a fresh energy coming in, a rethinking, a resetting, a new page being turned, and yeah, it's a little bit like that over the next, say, month maybe, or even up to 6 months, depending on where you are. If that's a trend for you with the moon. Jupiter and Saturn are moving across each other's degrees, especially mid-month onwards. Freedom of action may be more limited, so you've got to work within sort of some rules, or some maybe physical sort of limitations, or some sort of kind of parameter of a certain idea, and you find that within that you're quite free. You know, you can find lots of little kind of get out clauses, loopholes, wider range of options, shall we say, to work with. Also the Sun goes over Saturn's degree on the 5th to the 7th, so it usually makes us feel just a bit more squeezed, a bit pressured, a bit more on our shoulders, so perhaps don't schedule something where you know you have to put in a lot of effort anyway. I wouldn't. And then we have Mercury and Venus doing something. Mercury is going over Neptune on the 10th and the 11th, and then Venus is going over Neptune on the 19th and 21st. And Mercury is in your sign when it does that, and so is Venus. In fact, wow, what a month. What a month this is, and going on into April a little bit as well. So very much in the stream of information exchange, and paperwork coming at you maybe more than usual, or maybe just meeting, greeting, mixing, mingling more than usual, having to work things out, travel, transport, that kind of stuff, perhaps for some of you. And then from the 12th, Venus is in your sign, very much reaching out to the world. Venus previously has been, and Mercury, in a place where you didn't have the information, things were up in the air, you didn't quite know how you felt, you didn't know what you could say, maybe undecided, perhaps, but very much guided. Very much guided. Very good time for doing, pursuing nurturing and nourishing pursuits, and being in the sorts of places where your sensitivities will be able to send out its feelers, its tendrils. So it's not an environment that's jarring. And if you have to be in environments which are jarring, put a shield. Put a shield. You know, not necessarily to hide, but to filter. All right, because you don't want to be cut off. Well, maybe you feel as though you do, but it's just to filter so that it's manageable what's coming at you. Okay. And just imagine it. Just put yourself in an egg, or push your aura out further. I mean, you might look a bit strange sitting in your car before you go into that building, going like that, pushing your... But hey, who cares, you know? You're only young once. So actually, that's probably not true. But as you are now with this identity, you're only young once. And it's never too late to have a happy childhood either. So, you know, you can be young all your life. And I'm going off at a tangent again. So this is the thing. I mean, after the 5th and then the 12th, you're going to have both of those planets in your sign, meeting the world in a more gregarious sort of a way. Perhaps, you know, a boost to the love life, very much so there. Professional relationships could get a boost as well. And you could be treats in the pipeline. It's a good time to do some kind of, you know, maybe a makeover, a detox, retail therapy. I mean, it's, you know, it's regular with that. Don't ever skip any opportunity for that. So overall, this is a good time to work the energy to your advantage, because you can come across as very persuasive and charming to others, particularly if after you've had that detox and that makeover. And the going over Neptune. Now, this is happening all in your sign, so you've got to be careful that there's clarity there, because somebody might get the wrong end of the stick, right? So you have to make sure that there's clarity. It might be you that gets the wrong end of the stick. You've got to read the small print on something, or there's just like this confusion in your mind. You're not quite sure. And then when Venus goes over there, can be confuses in your heart. You're not quite sure. Or you know, something is presenting itself in a certain way, but that's not the truth of the matter, because Neptune is your ruling planet, is very much a master of illusion. It's a bit smoke and mirrors, you know, it's a bit cloak and dagger. So it's a bit like driving along in slightly foggy or even very foggy conditions, because you don't quite know where the edges of the road are and where the bends are and what's coming up next. Having said that, which is kind of covered the way it could go if it went a bit wrong, actually this is a lovely energy, because it's inspiring, it's beautiful, it's romantic, it's gorgeous, it might be just a little bit unrealistic though. But on the other hand, I mean, we get enough reality anyway, so it can be entertaining, it can be artistic. There's something about where you are, you love, the person you're with, you really get a lot out, or you love too, and it's very subtle energy. It's very subtle, so your intuition should be working amazingly well during this time here, and you could make a really, really, you know, a significant decision about something. Perhaps Mars is going to help you make that decision, and Mars is coming out of a very expansive area up to the top of your chart where Saturn is, to do with career, your career, your outer image, maybe it's points on the map of where you want to be going with your general life direction. It's this goal and then that goal and then that goal. It might be a bit like that. You're thinking about the impression that you're making on others a little bit more with Mars there. You're maybe crossing swords as well with authority figures or bureaucracy. You could get frustrated with the powers that be, but you can, if you keep your head screwed on and you keep cool, then you can go forwards and be very, very successful with what you want to be doing because of everything else that's going on as well. This is almost like a watershed moment. It could be a bit like that for you Virgos. Sorry, Pisces, I mean. I was thinking Pisces and I said Virgo, but the thing is, every single sign has an awful lot of the attributes of the other sign in their kind of soft underbelly. So that Virgo will be there, you know, the one that crosses the I and dots the I's and crosses the T's and is a bit sort of pernickety about this or that or the other thing. That can be lurking around in there somewhere, and that's the Virgo bit. Okay, but both very service orientated, both Pisces, but Virgo is far more practical. So it's good. You know, the opposite sign is always a complement. It's opposite, but it's complementary to your sign, which can be a little bit without. It's not very good at timekeeping. Maybe sometimes it's it goes with a kind of it walks to a different drum, really. But we are in this physical world, so the Virgo bit is I'm going off at a tangent again. So there we go. Neptune's in your sign for many years, and you just have to find how to facilitate others and to support others, but you mustn't lose the thread of your own destiny, of your own desire, of your own heart's yearning. And you have to work out with that Virgo side in your Pisces. In fact, might be quite interesting to do a video about how each sign has very much got the other opposite sign in it, so that you can put those stronger boundaries in and go, you know, live the life that you were come here to live. You Pisceans born the 26th of February to the 1st of March, with 8 to 11 degrees rising, you're going to feel that energy the most this month. Now, have I forgotten anything? Because I've been dancing around all over the place. I think that's it. So that's it for March. And if you know your rising sign or your moon sign, listen to those. This is all written up on DianaGarland.com if you want to read the text. And I'll see you the next time.